Hello everyone, welcome to Hema's Home and Garden in USA. So first let me give a disclaimer that this is not me, this is not my hand and this is not my dragon fruit plant. So why did I add this? Well, every time I see some videos like this where somebody grows some exotic fruit and harvest a bunch of them, I have this deep desire to grow one myself and harvest something like this. As a next step, I started doing some research about growing dragon fruit. So, dragon fruit loves heat and humidity. So, we have high heat and humidity in North Carolina. So, that's not a problem. And my fear was like, will it survive during winters? If I bring the plant indoors, will it survive? And I learned that the plant will be just fine indoors for the next 4 or 5 months. So, what next? I bought a dragon fruit plant, and this was in April 2022. My husband made a beautiful trellis for this dragon fruit plant after doing a lot of research, and this is how my permanent setup looked like. By the month of June 2022, you can see the new growth all over. It means the plants settled down and started growing, and that was the most exciting thing for me. And after 1 year, in 2023 June, this is what I see. I couldn't believe my eyes that my dragon fruit plant is starting to grow flower buds. Let me be very honest here. I was literally jumping in joy looking at the flower buds. Imagine you planted this just an year ago, and within a year, you see flower buds. How wonderful it is, right? After I noticed the flower buds, I visited the plant almost every single day. Every single day, I go to the plant, look at the flower buds, keep my fingers next to it, and see how much it has grown. So one fine day, maybe after 10 days, flower buds grows very quickly, and from the day I noticed, within 10 days the flower came to this stage, like to the blooming stage. So I knew that the flower was going to bloom, and from the day I noticed the flower buds forming, for the past 10 days I started watching so many dragon fruit videos about how to pollinate it, what needs to be done and all that stuff. I was just waiting for it to bloom. I was waiting to hand pollinate. In case it doesn't self pollinate itself, I was ready. I learned how to hand pollinate a dragon fruit flower, and I was ready for the day. You could even see there were even tiny flower buds, new flower buds growing. That night at 11 p.m., I went to my backyard. I had my phone, I had the torch on, and I saw that the flower was in bloom. And it was the most exciting thing for me because that was like a dream come true for me. So, when it comes to pollination, the long part that looks like a star or that looks like a flower itself, that is the female part. And behind the female part, you see tiny thread like structures, like multiple hundreds of tiny thread like structures. That is the male part that contains the pollen. If you keep a brush like this, the brush looks like a fan, and using that brush, you can rub the pollen from the male part and rub it on the female part. So that way you can pollinate the flower very well. So after making sure that I pollinated it thoroughly, I went back to sleep, and the next day I noticed that the flower started drying. I was sincerely hoping the flower turns into a fruit. Usually after 5 days you will get to know whether the flower got pollinated, whether the flower is really turning into a fruit or not. You will get to know within 5 days. It was really sad that the flower was not pollinated, not because I did not do the job very well, because the plant itself was not a self pollinating plant. And after those first two flowers, the plant started producing a lot of flowers. Because we were still in the month of July, August, and September, we still had a long time. The plant had a very good weather conditions. It started growing flower buds non-stop. But the sad part is that this is not a self-pollinating variety, and I need another dragon fruit plant that produces the pollen that will pollinate this dragon fruit. So I started doing my research again. I bought two other plants to pollinate this dragon fruit plant, and I had started growing them, and hopefully in future, maybe in next year or after 2 years, I will have flowers that will pollinate this dragon fruit plant and I will get fruits, and I am eagerly waiting for the day. Even now, in September 2023, we are almost in the end of September. My dragon fruit plant still has 5 flower buds that are ready to open, and this video was taken in the last week of September. So, based on my experience, I understand that dragon fruit plant can keep producing tons of flower buds if the weather conditions are right, and the only problem is that you have to buy a self pollinating plant. There are some self pollinating dragon fruit varieties also. Unfortunately, when I bought my dragon fruit plant, I was not aware of all these things. Hopefully, in future, my dream comes true. Thank you all for watching.